Hey everyone, welcome to this explainer. Today, we're jumping right into something literally life-changing. We're going to explore this amazing, almost magical secret about how we treat others. It's a really special lesson that breaks down the divine pattern of selfless service. So if you've ever wondered how to be a better friend, or just how to make the world around you a little bit brighter, whether that's at school, at home, or literally anywhere else, this is absolutely for you. All right, let's dive right in. Okay, I want you to picture something for a second. Imagine you've got this incredible, invisible superpower. And no, I'm not talking about flying or having super strength, but a power that can literally pull people together. Imagine a power that makes the people around you feel safe, happy, and truly seen. What kind of invisible string could possibly connect us all like that? Seriously, just think about that for a second.
Well, our source material actually gives us the answer, and honestly, it's pretty beautiful. This superpower, it's love. But specifically, it acts like a silken cord that binds our hearts together. Now, we aren't just talking about regular sewing thread here. Think of it more like a glowing, completely unbreakable string. When we use it, instead of just thinking about ourselves and what we want right this very minute, we are directly connected to others, so we can serve them, help them, and genuinely care for them. It's this invisible tie that makes sure nobody is left out.
And the book of Galatians really hits the nail on the head here. In chapter 5, verse 13, it says, "By love, serve one another." We are literally built to use this cord to serve other people. And, that could mean something as simple as letting your younger brother or sister go first in a game, sharing your absolute favorite snack, or helping a friend carry their heavy backpack down the hallway. Love is an action, right? It's something you actively do, and doing those things is exactly what makes that silken cord so incredibly strong.
So, that brings us to our first main point, escaping the narrow circle.
Let's see how this builds, because there's actually something out there that constantly tries to cut our silken cord. We've got a massive contrast here. On one side, you have the beautiful silken cord, which is all about looking out for others and connecting our hearts. But on the other hand, you have the narrow circle of self. The lesson teaches us that as long as we only think of ourselves and we only focus on what we think people owe us, we end up trapped inside that tiny, lonely circle. If you look at the breakdown here, it's kind of wild. A lot of the time, our brains just naturally default to me, myself, and I mode, what games we want to play, what snacks we want to eat, what show we want to watch. But we get a really strong warning here. If we spend all our time trapped in that narrow circle, it is practically impossible for us to truly help others or do the good work of saving souls. We absolutely have to break out of that circle. And here is a trap we pretty much all fall into at some point. Sometimes we only want to serve specific people. Maybe it's the cool kids we're trying to impress, or people who can do favors for us later. We might even pass right by others because we think they aren't popular enough. But the text warns us that if we ignore the people who actually need our friendship, it just makes us cold-hearted and selfish. True service means looking out for everyone, not just the crowd you want to be a part of.
Moving right along to our next section, how Jesus served others.
So how exactly do we escape that narrow circle and use our silken cord like a total pro? Well, we need an example. And the contrast here is just mind-blowing. Think about an earthly king. What do? They stand around demanding attention, demanding respect, and demanding that everyone serve them. But Jesus, he was the exact opposite. He showed a wonderful reverence for human life. He didn't act like a bossy king at all. Instead, his entire goal was to uplift humanity and offer deep, genuine human sympathy to literally everyone he met.
We're told that wherever Christ saw a human being, he just saw someone who needed sympathy. And hey, we can follow these exact same steps in our own lives. Let's think about a normal day at school. Step 1, don't walk into a room demanding all the attention. Step 2, look around for anyone needing human sympathy. Maybe it's a kid sitting completely alone at lunch or someone who's brand new to the school. Step 3, walk over, serve them, be a friend, and uplift them. Seriously, just sitting with someone can change their whole entire day.
The whole concept really boils down to this quote right here. He had not come to be ministered unto, but to minister. Now, ministered unto is kind of an older phrase, but it just means having people serve him. His whole life mission wasn't about being served. It was completely about serving others selflessly. When Christ takes over our hearts, we naturally start wanting to do the exact same thing, reaching out to help instead of just waiting around to be helped.
Okay, on to our next point, the superpower of forgiveness.
Because let's be real, life isn't always perfectly smooth. Sometimes our silken cord gets all tangled up when people hurt our feelings, say something mean, or break a promise. Which brings us to a massive lesson. And honestly, this might surprise you. We are taught that the absolutely greatest wrong we can do to others is to be unforgiving if we think they've injured us. When someone hurts you, it is so easy to want to hold on to that anger. But holding a grudge, that is actually super dangerous to your own heart.
We get a pretty strong warning here that holding on to a grudge is an incredibly dangerous position to be in. Why? Because the Lord of Heaven will treat us exactly in the same manner we treat our brothers and sisters. If we want God to forgive us when we mess up, and come on, we all mess up sometimes, we have to be willing to forgive others. Choosing to forgive someone is exactly what unknots that tangled cord of love and fixes it right back up.
Which ties perfectly into our final major section, God is our loving Father.
You know, to really master the superpower of forgiveness and selfless love, we actually have to shift how we look at God himself. We need higher, more distinct views of Christ's character. Actually, the text says nothing harms our souls more than thinking of God only as a scary judge who's just waiting for us to mess up. That molds our spiritual life with fear. It's like squishing clay into this harsh, scary shape. But instead, when we see God as a loving dad, our spiritual life is molded gently by Jesus' love.
And this completely lines up with this incredible verse from Ephesians chapter 5. It says, "Be ye therefore followers of God as dear children, and walk in love, for a sweet-smelling savor." It's basically calling us to act like dearly loved kids, walking around totally covered in love, offering up something that actually smells amazing to God and to everyone around us. The source material actually calls this the absolute height of the love we are required to reach, a sweet-smelling savor. So, what does that mean for us? Well, think about it like this. Selfishness just plain stinks. But when your love is pure, and you are serving others because you genuinely care about them, without expecting a single thing in return, it's like a sweet-smelling perfume to everyone around you. It's a love that isn't ruined or tainted by being selfish.
So, we have covered a lot of ground today. We've talked about escaping that narrow circle of self, how Jesus served others instead of demanding to be served, the incredible danger of holding grudges, and how God is truly our loving Father. Now that you know the amazing secret of the silken cord of love, who are you going to tie your cord to today? How will you use it to serve someone else? I want you to keep that question with you and go out and serve someone today. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.